this is John and Steve yet again from Midlands Metalheads Radio, and we're on site at HRH Prog 7 in Pwllheli, North Wales. And today we're speaking with the Australian band Southern Empire. Fantastic guys, glad to have you
Gents,
over here.
how are we?
Yes, yeah.
Great to be here.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, there's a lot of people anticipating your arrival and your set a little bit later. No pressure at all.
No
pressure at all. Obviously, there's a couple of things I'd like to cover with you, Sean. I gather you've not been very well just lately.
Yes. Look, to say I've not been very well, I've been fine, and I even felt fine when I had a heart attack last month, and apart from a couple of days in hospital, it's been fine really. So I just done a big country trip with my wife. We work in a duo, and we're sort of up in central Australia, and drove all the way back on the Sunday, and then the Monday I had some chest pain, and it continued into the night, and I woke her up about 2 a.m. and said, "Look, I don't want to alarm you, babe, but this is what's happening." And she said, "Well, call the ambulance." And so I called I said, "Well, what if it's a false alarm?" And she said, "Well, what if it's not?"
Yeah.
So good advice, and so we called the ambulance.
And he wasn't feeling well during rehearsal either that
No,
night. We had a rehearsal that
it's been
night,
pretty
and
flat.
he's still like having a heart attack playing. So there you go.
Oh wow,
That's
that's
how-
a true performer.
That's how hard he is.
Yeah.
He's very prog.
That's it.
That makes us extra pleased to have
That's-
you with us, all of you.
Yeah, he's done
That's
well.
it.
He's done well. We've been looking after him.
Had a couple of stents put in. So I'm actually healthier now than what I was before that happened, because the heart's working properly now. So
Oh, wicked.
yeah,
And you feel
It's like
okay?
reset itself.
feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Superb. Well, it's good to have you here.
yeah. Thank you.
And I would imagine there was a lot of people who'd be disappointed if you'd have had to have cancelled. So,
Well, no more so than us. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's great to be here.
superb. Because I'll be catching up with you guys a little bit later at the end of the month because you're playing the Robin.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Great.
That's right,
There as well.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, you've risen from the ashes of Unitopia.
Mhm.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the origins of the band and how it all came to be?
Sean and I have known each other for about 25 years,
Okay.
give or take.
Since we were 3.
Yeah.
Oh wow, giving away your ages. Eh?
So,
You don't look at a day over at 21, so you really do.
So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work for Sean back home in Adelaide in Australia. Sean's got a studio down there, and I've gone in and sang on jingles and things for him. And he's always said to me, one day, Danny, we're going to get a band together. We're going to get a band together. And about 5 years ago, he calls me up. I wasn't doing anything at the time, and he said, I've written these songs, and he's just mentioned that Unitopia's just disbanded. Would I be interested in doing something? So I said, sure. So I went and caught up with him. He played me some demos. I sang on there for him, and we were pretty, not tooting our own horn, but we were pretty happy with what was put down at that point. So we got another guitar player on board, which was a nightmare. I keep saying that, poor guy. I won't mention
not
any
really.
names.
No.
And we got Brody and Jez on board, and we all jammed together, and it didn't quite gel with this other guy, so we had to unfortunately let him go. And that's when we found Cam. Like, the boys had known Cam for a long time, and I'd seen Cam back in 2009. He was about 20 years old. He was doing a Satriani tribute show. So this young kid just pulls off. He played Surfing with the Alien in its entirety, and a couple of other tracks, and I just sat there, my jaw dropped, and I was like, are we allowed to swear? I need
Go
to
for it.
Yeah.
So
You haven't heard my show.
oh, that's all right, man. Oh, good. See?
You go for it, man.
So yeah, he blew me away. So when they said that he was coming on board, Sean went and saw him because he was playing in the International Guitar Festival at the time.
With the likes of people like Guthrie Go.
Govan
Oh,
and people
yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Wow.
even jammed with him, and
He
so
was holding his own.
yeah.
Wow.
So we were wrapped. He got on board, and
I asked Guthrie, but
nah,
it wasn't interesting.
he wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Next time, dude.
Yeah.
Next time.
Come back in a couple of years when you're just a bit more
Sure,
experienced.
Yeah.
Because obviously you did the first album, which had a live DVD, I believe, with it.
Yeah.
And then you did another live album where you did some covers, which was superb, by the way.
Thank
I have
you.
to say that. I actually did a show on Yes Covers, and I played your version of Roundabout.
Oh, great.
You know, and then obviously your latest album, which has been getting amazing reviews, Civilization. And I think I've got to tell you that you hold the honour of the longest track I've ever played with the Crossroads.
Awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. It's just over 30 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah, that must be a hell of an undertaking to do live.
Do you find it feels 30 minutes for you?
No, it goes quickly.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
same with us.
I was going to say, no, it goes for 40.
Did you get told off by the station manager because we're meant to play adverts every 20 minutes?
Right.
And I'm not putting an advert halfway through the track. No way. But it's the one good thing about being a prog DJ. You know, you can sort of, how can I say,
Big progressive.
fill it out.
Yeah.
I also did one show. It was all epics. 7 tracks in 3 hours.
Wonderful. We did that live show that we did. We were on for 2.25 hours. We played 7 songs.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that is proper prog.
Yeah.
You know your latest video for Goliath's Moon.
Yes.
Well, I actually shared that on my Facebook page, and one guy put, "I like it, but it's not prog." And somebody else commented on it. I put, "In what universe are these guys not prog?" You know?
Look, I think everyone has a different idea as to what prog is, and that's okay. You know, look, we might not be prog to somebody. We're not, you know, we don't call ourselves a prog band. I think we kind of fit in the prog genre, but there's
We're a prog
lots
and
of
roll
other-
band.
Yeah,
That's a new. Oh, I like that.
That's-
I
we've
like that.
created our own style. So, you know, it doesn't really bother us whether people think it's prog or not.
Yeah.
You know, it's music, and we write music that we like performing and writing and that we can relate to, you know, musically, lyrically, melodically, and, you know, if it falls into a prog framework, for some people that's great. If it doesn't to others, that's okay. You know?
Yeah.
So,
I think if every band, every song sounds like Yes, it's no longer actually progressed.
That's
from,
right.
From the era. So what is prog
Exactly.
really? So,
Well, I think it's that universal question, isn't it? And it's come up a few times over the weekend.
we were
It's actually on the list above what is the meaning of life.
we were actually playing a game in the car on the way to Liverpool, wasn't it? What is prog? You know,
I
we'd
Spy,
sort of
I know.
say it. I was playing I Spy as well, but we were sort of saying, okay, you'd name a song and you go prog or not.
Okay.
And, you know, when somebody come up with a song, and then you'd have to say why it could be prog or why it wouldn't be, and then we were sitting in this the diner, and this particularly naff kind of pop song came on, and Danny came out with, you know, okay, is this song prog? Brody, quick as a flash, comes out with,
oh yeah, it gets progressively worse.
So yes, it is.
Yes, yeah.
I must admit, you know, on the Prog magazine readers page, oh Jesus, it's just becoming ridiculous now. You know, I think everybody's going to get death threats. You know, of putting that, is this band prog? Is this band? Oh, it's just ridiculous.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone who follows other kinds of music who have this, you know, this what a curse, if you like, you know, and it just does my nutting. It really does. I tried to play a very eclectic mix of music on my show, and as I said, I did a preview show last week for this week. And trying to fit everyone in 3 hours was quite difficult. In fact, I had to leave some out. You guys were okay. But it just made me realise how broad the genre is. You know, different bands classed as prog.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all under one umbrella. You know, and yet the styles were so different.
Yeah.
You know, from beginning to end.
Well, we got us, Straubs and Hawkwind on the same night. That's, you know,
Yes.
that's pretty diverse.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and look, I like all three.
Yeah.
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 And we had Space Wizard Disco.
Oh yeah.
Genre
Yeah.
yesterday.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. Which was amazing.
Yeah.
I must admit, I love your look.
Oh.
I think that has sort of brought a a very groundy element to your music.
Oh,
I really do. You know.
We like his look too. We like the cut of his jib.
You can stay.
I must admit, Sean, on that video, I know that you were quite absent on it. On that particular, was that conscious?
Look,
I think there was a bit of a shot of your hands, a quick shot of your face.
Initially, the whole clip was just, for me, it was just going to be quick, very quickly done, put out to kind of promote the tour, and just have Danny in it playing a bit of guitar and singing, and some shots of the moon and stuff and all of that. And then, we kind of workshopped it a bit and realised we needed a bit more of, Brody and Cam, because they sing on it. So, let's chuck them in. And there's no drumming or guitar playing on it. And it was like, okay, well, we better film the keyboard solo. And then before you knew it, that was it, So,
I championed for more Sean. I did. I kept saying that. You don't see Sean enough. You just don't see Sean enough in the new clip. But I think that's the way he wanted it.
Yeah.
That's all. Love that.
My hands are my most beautiful feature. So you should just get them. He's a hand model.
But obviously, you're riding on the back of the last album. Plans for a third?
We plan to start writing next year.
Okay.
So we'll come home after this. Obviously, it's Christmas. Spend time with the family. We all play in other bands as well, so we've all got Christmas shows and things that we have to do, get back to earth, which is fine, It's great that we get to work. Brady and I play in a covers band. We play 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Back home in
What
Adelaide.
do you cover?
We cover everything from Beatles right through to Metallica.
Oh, wow.
So, just in pubs and clubs and stuff around Adelaide. And
Keep you on your toes as well, I guess.
Yeah.
He plays it down, but they get between sort of 200 and 600 people every night.
Wow.
2 or 3 nights a week. Their fan base, because they've been going for 30 odd years, is incredible, and they are rabid fans. They just come to every gig.
Wow.
Yeah, they are without doubt easily the best cover band in the state. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it first, huh?
Oh, wow.
Anyone else?
No pressure at all. Because the thing is, it's over in this country we get a lot of tribute bands.
Yeah. They're starting a lot down in Australia as well, in Adelaide as well. That's really in a lot of the pubs, and that there are a lot of tribute acts now, and there's how many fucking AC/DC bands and Led Zeppelin tribute bands and Angels, Bon Jovi and Angels.
I played a Bon Jovi tribute band.
Really?
Yeah.
There's only one in Adelaide.
Wild
There's only one in Adelaide.
Is that for your sins, is it, Sean?
I like
They're
it.
actually quite good.
It's
They are very good.
fun. And the guy that does the lead singing, he's really good. He's running.
Looks like him and everything. It's just
the guitarist is amazing as well. So
They seem to be the bread and butter for a lot of smaller venues.
Yeah.
I mentioned the gig I went to not so long ago with Eden Song, Golden Caves and Sky Architect. And they'd all come in from the Netherlands and America. And all 30, 40 people.
it's sad, isn't it? I know.
So sad for the band, because they were superb.
We're hoping to get some decent crowds. We've promoted it heavily. So, if you're thinking of coming, please don't think, come.
You need to be there.
We'd really, look, if we're playing to 30 or 40 people, we're still going to put on a great show. If we're playing to 10 people, or if we're playing to 200-300 people, we're going to put on a great show. But, I really do hope people come out, because if they don't, then they've got no one to blame but themselves. We're not able
We're not
to
come back again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, which would be horrible, really, because we love coming here. I love coming here. This is my 3rd trip here in the last 8 years, and I'm hoping for many more. So,
did you ever tour with Unitopia in the UK?
Yeah, 2010.
Okay.
We started with Summer's End, then we did some gigs in, and we did another 5 gigs in Europe, and another 2 or 3 in back in the UK.
Because what happened with the band? Did it just sort of reach its sort of natural end? Or?
No, not really. It kind of imploded because I guess, look, Mark and I are a bit yin and yang in that we just have different ways of going about things. And sometimes that can be complimentary and sometimes it's not. And it just got to the point where I felt that, and we're still mates and we still catch up regularly, and I've got nothing but good stuff to say about UPF, you know. So wait till you hear his second album. It's just really good. I actually told him not to release it this year because it might jeopardise our chances. But no, it is really very good, and we still get on very well now. There was a bit of animosity there for a little while, but we just had different ways of doing things, and the way I wanted to kind of pursue things wasn't the way he wanted to, and I just kind of felt it run its natural course.
Because you did that covered mirror, didn't you, volume 1?
Yeah.
And I suppose there was inevitably going to be a volume 2, but it never happened, like.
Yeah, well, I guess you got to pull the pin somewhere, don't you? Really, you know, there might be a volume 2, maybe in 10 years or something. But look, I never say
Down to
never.
you guys to do that.
Yeah, I never say never. But look, at the moment, I'm really happy working with these guys, and we've got a lot to do yet. We're only just scratching the surface. We're only just starting, so. I'm quite happy where I am.
And have you had a lot of Unitopia fans follow you over?
Maybe, I guess, possibly.
Or did you get so, it's not
I
Unitopia
guess
anymore, we're not listening to that?
Well, look, I guess what I didn't want for Southern Empire is to have it seem like it was Unitopia with a different lead singer.
Yes.
That would have been the worst thing for me. So I really set out to make Southern Empire as different stylistically and philosophically different as possible to that. And I think if you like Unitopia, you might like us, you might not. You would like UPF, so listen to that, you know.
that's pretty honest and candid.
Yeah.
Definitely more metallic edge to what we do.
Yeah.
Which maybe they might not like, and that's cool.
Yeah.
You know.
But like I say, especially the new album, it's been getting rave reviews. I mean, how's it done over in Australia?
Nothing.
We don't know really nothing.
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing. We don't have a prog scene really in Adelaide.
Wow.
Our last
Well,
gig
it's more
was
like
in April,
Leprous, Carnival, the
Yeah.
sort of prog metal
Yeah.
scene, and it more so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, clicking the doors.
I don't think we're metal enough for what it seems like Australian fans like, because I don't know. Don't really know.
Enchant, I think, fall under a similar thing, really, because they're not quite metal,
They're more
and they're not
heavy
quite
than-
prog.
Yeah.
They're something in between, and I feel that maybe you guys fall into a similar situation.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some great sort of prog metal bands in Australia. Carnival are very good, and Decidia, who are from Adelaide.
Toe
the
Hider.
guys there. Toe Hider from Melbourne, or
Mike Mills is great.
Is amazing. Caligula's Horse.
Yeah, I saw them.
So there are some really good bands doing some really good stuff over there. It's just,
Then you got the really sort of extreme stuff like that Neobli Biscars. They're a bit intense, aren't they?
Yeah.
So more power to them. But at this stage, there really hasn't been much of an impact that we've made over there.
So in some respects, you've almost got to take it away from the country. Have you got to sort of reach out?
Yeah, that's what we're here.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
So when you're moving over here.
And have you got any plans to sort of take it elsewhere, like Europe? Because Germany, I said we had a German band in earlier. German prog scene is quite healthy.
Well, we're actually off there next week.
Oh, you are?
So we've got Tuesday or Wednesday night.
A Wednesday night in Reichenbach,
Wednesday night,
Brett Keller in Reichenbach, and then Thursday night Scooter 66 in Verviers in Belgium, and then we've got a day off in Amsterdam, and then the Saturday night at the Borderay in Zoetermeer.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. And then we come back here for
we
5
might make it to the
shows.
gig on Saturday.
So the 27th we've got at Swindon, at the Vic. The 28th we're at the Joiners in Southampton. 29th we're at the Robin at Bilston. The 30th we're at Boston Music Room, London. And then the 1st we're at Maltby for the CRS show in Western Centre. then back home.
What a memory, this guy.
Yeah.
I know, It's like a walking gig guide.
Yeah.
Someone's got to remember where we were.
Yeah, I guess so.
But do you know where you are today?
Especially after Amsterdam.
Yes,
It's easy
yeah.
so nice to know where
I
we go.
do.
Yeah.
I do. Well,
When did you know you were playing?
Here.
Yeah.
When I contacted them and said, "Hey, we're putting a tour together. Would it be okay?
Oh,
do you
fantastic.
think you could squeeze us on?" And is it seven? Seven? Who
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prog 7, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he came in contact and said, "Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that was
We've got a
pretty
spot open
freaky.
for
It
you."
was great.
Because I was saying to Deafening Opera, because they're from Germany,
Right.
and I said, it's unusual to get bands from outside the UK. We've had bands like September Code, Verbal Delirium, MTR Experiment, but they always tend to be like one-offs,
Yeah.
and so we've got yourselves from Australia and we've got Deafening Opera from Germany. And I think the thing is, like you said, if people don't come, the guys from Eden Song, he knew that it was going to cost them money. He actually said, we know we're not going to make
Yeah,
money.
of course.
Oh, yeah, we're the same. We're not going to be making any money out of this.
We're looking at it as a working
Unless we
holiday,
get
so to speak,
thousands of people to the shows, which we're not in.
and get to meet the people, the faces
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that you talk with
Yeah.
through social media and that, and you finally get to meet everyone. And it's cool
I think
to hang out.
that's important, isn't it, to make that connection?
Yeah,
for
that's
the
right.
listeners, because it's all well and good to print something on Facebook or responding to a
Yeah.
post or whatever, but to actually put a face to it and talk to these people, I think people respect that.
And it's cool that we were fans of them. We're fanboys ourselves, so we're in there. We're loving it too,
Yeah.
just watching all these acts. And
Yeah.
like Thursday, couldn't wait to see Arthur Brown, I was just
God,
like,
it was-
so the boys, God bless them. Now we've got to get there because Danny wants to see Arthur Brown. And,
it was immense, wasn't it?
yeah, it was great. Because you wouldn't see that in Australia. And, these
No.
acts, they never come.
No,
So you've been here all weekend and loving it.
Yeah,
It's
Pretty
fun,
much.
it's
yeah.
been fantastic.
Yeah.
superb.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Thank you,
speaking
gentlemen.
with
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Looking forward to
Oh,
seeing
great.
you later. Really am. As I know
It's
a
only a
lot of
couple of
people.
hours now, I think.
That's
isn't it?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time are you on?
6:10 tonight.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we might have a small window in our
Right.
interview schedule. So
Yeah.
people be.
I was getting a bit of cabin fever yesterday by the end of the day.
Wow.
Being stuck in here. I got to see my first band about 10 o'clock last night.
Oh, wow. Who you got next? Who are you interviewing next?
Is it Gold Ray?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Hawkwood.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Superb.
Yeah.
You guys looking forward to that one?
Thank you, Jim.
Great to meet
Been a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you so
Cheers,
much.
Danny.
Nice meeting you.
You're a
Yeah.
man. Cheers.
Nice.